Hello and welcome, poker fans. We are back for our main event. We are live at the Golden Nugget Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Brian with FPN, and we are happy to have you guys back. This is the big one. This is the main event, the title fight. All the big guns are out in full force, and we have feature table action. Starting right now. We started at 10 a.m. this morning, and we're going to go ahead and just get started. We've got a lot to, I guess, talk about last night. We can recap some things, but let's go ahead and introduce seat number 2. Will be Vicky Hutchison from Pappy's in Pennsylvania. She's going to start with 162,500 in chips. Seat 3 is Mike Soper, playing out of the Maverick Poker League in Michigan. He's starting with 22,500 in chips. Seat 4, Wendy Adamczyk Deandria, playing out of Town Bar in Grill and Mugs and Manor. Wendy is also our host for those two sites. She comes from Illinois, 82,000 in chips. In seat 5, we have Laurel Smith, playing out of Billy's Rock and Bar and Rachel's Place in Minnesota, 108,500 in chips. Seat 6, we have John Rotman, playing from Route 47. He's starting with 91,000 in chips. And rounding off our feature table in seat 8, Cynthia Morales from Shirley's Pizzeria, Indiana. That is not a town name, that's a bar name. Playing out of Indiana, 72,000 in chips. I think we just came off a break. We have moved players from the ballroom over to our feature table set with a few other tables, and I think we're any minute now we're going to get the go-ahead to shuffle up and deal, and we are going to start watching some poker. And if you were around last night watching our really insane tag team event, we had Stephanie Tomasello and Jacob Karnowski, which were at one point the favorites to win with a massive chip stack. But then out of nowhere, we had a team that was just, they had a ton of chips, they lost a ton of chips. They fought their way back. Noel Batres and Paul Hammonds. Paul is out in the feature table area. He's not going to be on our feature table. But congratulations to Paul and Noel on a well-fought battle. Let's hope that Paul and Noel can keep the run good up and find themselves here on our feature table, if not final table, coming up later today. We are going to stream for a couple hours here, and then we will take a break for dinner, and then we'll come back and continue on streaming feature table coverage until we get to our final table. And then we'll find ourselves a winner. What we're playing for today, 3 $12,500 poker main event prize packages to the richest tournament in the land. So we very much look forward to seeing what those winners are going to look like. We do have two-time, vying for a third, two-time national champion in Joel Smith is still out there in the field. And I'm blanking on his name. How dare I? I'm going to get it here in a second. How could I? Larry Sundberg. So Larry Sundberg also out there in the field, and why I bring both of them up is they both had the top contender status coming into the main event today, where they have the largest starting chip stack to start the day. Both Larry and Joel started today with 100,000 in chips. So they split the pot of $500, and so easy money, I guess, for them. And they earned themselves the title of the top contender here on our Step in the Ring promotion. Our main event here also features bounties. So there is $10,000 in mystery bounties, with the top bounty being $1,500. We didn't open up bounties until after this break. The break has just concluded, so now we are going to start getting a trickle of bounty winners potentially coming in to today. So here we have Mike Soper hitting a pair of 6, Cynthia Morales with the queen high flush draw. Mike Soper's all in. Cynthia 16-5 to call. It'll be about 4th of her stack. And she's going to make the call, thinking that perhaps her queen high is good in this situation. Also calculating perhaps that she has 15 outs to win this pot. So essentially, about 25% of the deck is going to net her the win here in knocking out Mike Soper. Each person these players knock out, as I said, will get their bounty chip and a 6 on the turn. Cynthia now just has 7 outs and a 5 on the river, and Cynthia is going to double up Mike Soper, turning a set of 6s. Another person I want to congratulate for good performance this weekend is our bar championship winner. That was a Wednesday qualifier, number 3, getting $2,500 and bar trophy. And not only that, also bragging rights for your bar. I want to congratulate David Bruiges, and I'm going to need to know how to pronounce that, but he's from Danny's Dugout in Sauk Rapids, Minnesota. Congratulations to David. John Rotman is now all in with Kings. All right, we're going to go to break for just a minute, figure out some technical difficulties, and then we'll be right back. And can we wait just until John Rotman's Kings and it's over? Okay, we can go to break now for just And we're back as if nothing happened. Dean Nelson now with a pocket pair of tens.
No beverages and no electronics on my table. That means no AirPods, no smartwatches. If you need to use your cell phone, you just gotta step away. If it rings in your pocket, I'm not gonna get angry, but don't, just step away. Thank you so much.
Grab the rope.
Yeah.
Grab the rope.
There's a green rope right there. Oh, yes, thank you. Please do not duck under my ropes to enter or exit. People will knock shit down, hit their heads on my expensive cameras. If the trussing falls down, the live stream goes away. So do not duck under those ropes, please.
As we continue here on our main event feature table, Vicky Hutchinson picks up a pretty decent hand at ace 10 suited. I think you'll raise to 8,000. It folds from all around the table. I don't know if I said it, the blinds are at 1,500, 2,000, 2,000 big blind ante. And there's our next promotion, current promotion going on. Players plenty of time to qualify for nationals in January. FDN Desert Dash for cash, $100,000 in cash and prizes. If you want to know how to qualify, potentially make your way out here onto feature or final table here in Vegas. There is a ton of ways, actually. It's almost hard not to qualify. So you can place top 10% in your leaderboard on any season or league. So that would be you have multiple games in your area, play at regularly or start up. Place top percent in any season. Or perhaps maybe the online leaderboards, or if there's any other affiliated leagues such as Misfits Poker or Maverick Poker League or our Louisville friends, place top 10% on those leaderboards given season or league, you will qualify automatically for nationals. Also become the league champ. Leagues, and if you're league champ, hey, you stamped your ticket to nationals. So if you won league nights, invited to be tournament champion, bam, qualified for nationals. Oh wow, John Rotman Rivers. Straight. See some folds there.
Oh, here he comes. About time. About time. Where were you? Oh, no, I didn't.
You win your Tournament of Champions. You also will receive a travel voucher. That's pretty nice. It's like an upfront rebate on your trip to Vegas. Wendy, ace 8 will call. Laurel Smith will call for 3,000. Dean Nelson will call. I think we saw it check there. So 3 diamonds, 3-10 queen on the flop. We'll see check, check. Wendy will bet 8,000. We'll see fold, fold, fold. So the first aggressor there will take down the pot. Nice job, Wendy. It's again Wendy, host out in Illinois of Town Bar and Grill and Mugs and Manor. If you can't make it out and about to bars, we also have our online leagues every night of the week, except Saturdays. There is an online league available to VIP members of playfpn.online. Get access to the same leaderboards and the same benefits. The major difference between the bar leagues and online leagues is the Tournament of Champions is run separately as a monthly contest. The winner does receive $200. Travel voucher. Vicky Nelson raises to 8,000. Back to the action here. Vicky Hutchinson. Those look like raising chips right there. Three bet to 21,000. A nice sized raise here.
21 total.
Vicky did come into this table as the chip leader. Dean does make the call. Flop comes 8-3 deuce. Dean Nelson pairs his 3 or his 8. Vicky with 2 overs. It's going to lead out and bet 20,000. Dean's got to be thinking pocket pair, 9s or higher perhaps, or maybe just a premium hand, and Dean has the sneaky 8. Good kicker. So Dean's just going to smooth call 4 on the turn. Vicky's going to slow down and check. I think Dean checks as well. And a 5 on the river. Straights get there, a flush gets there. Actually, both players are going to chop this pot should they decide to call with both holding the ace. I knew I was thinking there was someone made a hand there with the 4 to the straight, and then I see they're both holding an ace, and that completes the 5-card straight.
Had the better hand going in.
Yes, you did.
What do you call me when I crap?
I was already committed.
You were?
Hot committed.
20,000 more.
It's always fun to have kind of an aggressive pot. You're not sure if you're making the right decision, and the board runs out, and you end up making maybe a tough call or whatever, and then you just find out that you're going to chop the pot at the end of the day, and all that stress of the hand immediately goes away, and sometimes just a relief to chop the pot.
Yeah, I can do it.
That's my dad always used to say. You gentlemen's out there, walk around your chair one time, it'll change. I'll call.
All right, battle of the aces here. Dean Nelson finding himself in another hand. Cynthia Morales with the ace, way better kicker.
What better way to be?
queen on the turn. Dean hoping that we're just going to check. We're going to find out. Well, Cynthia still has her option. Looks like she does bet. It'd be about 10,000 or something. And 10K for Dean to call. Just got all those chips back after splitting that pot. Now he's right back in another situation where he's risking chips out there, and it almost looked like that was a call. Okay. And Jack on the river is going to give Cynthia Morales the check mark, upgrading her to 2 pair. Of course, there is another 4 to the straight with the king. And it looks like we're going to just check. Cynthia's going to expose her hand. Ace Jack, 2 pair, better than just a pair of aces. Dean Nelson's going to lose a pot here worth 59.5. Vicky Hutchison now with 2 pair or 2 twos, couple of ducks, as they say. Wendy and Mike all
Well, he's helping me.
I will. For next year, we'll track you down. Actually, try to look, is it on? Is it?
Hey, John Rotman now with suited connectors there, and you're Mike Soper all in for 51.5. Wendy Adamczyk, just 50K to call. Will be about 5/8 of her stack. And she's gonna lay it down, big slick. Laurel Smith's gonna fold. Buttons in 3.
Are they doing a criminal check or what?
Don't we look a little shady?
Yeah. Do have 2 new players coming in to the feature table. It's like Michael Wiedent with 27,500 and Ken Jaworski and Jaros. Plays at the Pallet Bar. Michael Wiedenfeld, Norfolk Eagles, Nebraska. Hendros is a TOC champ for the Step in the Ring. Looks like he plays at the Pallet Bar and Grill. I think that's in Florida. State. Yeah, Fort Walton Beach, Florida. and also has a strong presence in the online games as well. Now Vicky Hutchison being a king on the flop, but Laurel Smith with an ace-high flush draw. Vicky's gonna bet 17,000 and Laurel will call. Vicky will check, Laurel will check, get a free card, of course. And a 10 of spades on the river is going to be no help to either player. Vicky will get the check mark. I think we saw a bet of 10,000 and then a fold from Laurel. So Vicky Hutchison will take home that pot. There you see our chip count. Vicky Hutchison commanding chip lead with 190,500. Big blind still at 15.33. Michael Wiedenfeld under that 10 big blind mark. Michael, new to the table, will need to start making some moves in order to ladder his way up and keep his main event tournament life here with plenty of life in it. Vicky Jack 7 probably gonna fold. Mike Soper folds. E. Nelson, pocket tens now. Looks like he's going to raise 19,500. Cynthia will fold. There. All right, blinds are up to 2,000, 4,000 with a 4,000 big blind ante. We are here, Step in the Ring main event, Golden Nugget, live, Las Vegas, Nevada. Having a blast out here last night with a very ruckus crowd. with our tag team champions. Congrats again to Noel and Paul on taking down that tournament in quite an amazing fashion, I must say. Going up, battling up against Stephanie and Jacob of the Misfits local poker crowd here in Las Vegas. So they had home field advantage and then just couldn't get the job done. Looks like we have an all-in perhaps from Ken. Going all in from Mike, all in from Ken, and Cynthia will fold. Your flop is Queen Deuce 9. Ken needs a 10 for the straight. I think 10 King or Jack is going to do it for Ken. And a Jack on the river. Ken Jaros will eliminate Michael Wiedenfeld by means of a river. Oh man. It happens. It surely does happen. So that's a bummer. That's going to be a story. He's going to go tell someone now. We had it was around like 230 some registrants today or qualifiers in our main event. And I would say all but one of them will have a knockout story. Knockout stories are produced like rabbits. And on over to Vicky Hutchison. Ken will call. Or Vicky has the option to just check. My apologies. Ken will be first to act. Queen 6 ace, club draw. Looks like he'll bet 20,000. Vicky will fold. Cynthia with the Broadway draw. Why would Ken have that many outs? What am I missing? Oh, it's too late. Cynthia folds. Ken will win the hand. I am smart. Action will start on Wendy. We'll fold around already to the entire table. Action now on Ken. Ken's going to make the call on the button. Oh, Vicky, I thought she was going to go all in there. Mike will call. Flop comes 4-10-4. No help to either player. See a check from, oh, actually, Mike is going to go ahead and place a little bet there. Bet 8,000. And that'll induce a fold from Ken.
Your round, a good round. My round. Not even one share yet.
Vicky there having some fun, being a little animated on our feature table. Got a little bit of a crowd here this afternoon, which is great. Love having some people out there to take a look at all the action. Oops, that's not where we want to go. Dean, ace 8. We go ahead and make the call. He's going to raise to 16,000 rather. We'll see folds around the table. Dean Nelson's going to scoop in some chips there. Andros will raise to 8,000. Vicky is going to. We might have a dead card. Vicky calls. Mike Soper's going to raise it up. Quite a few more. See some folds around the table. Actions in your seat 1, Ken Jaros. And now Vicky Hutchison, 20K to call. Does she have a hand worthy to call? Not sure. Vicky's going to go ahead and fold, and Mike Soper is going to scoop up a pot there.
We'll watch the video. Come tell me. Do a replay.
You're embarrassing him.
Like on TV. Just kidding. I want to know where you're at. Find out later.
We'll go ahead into our next hand. He's gonna raise with that ace-queen offsuit. Cynthia Morales with a low suited connectors, 12K to call. She'll go ahead and fold. Today is definitely going to be a long day. As soon as we're done crowning our 3 champions, taking home $12,500 prize packages, we got 30 minutes to let the stream run because we are on a 30-minute delay, and then it's teardown time. Tear down, pack up, go to bed, and head back to Fargo. Vicky Hutchison has been very active in the FPN community.
She makes the call. We're going to turn them over. I see ace, king, ace of diamonds, king of clubs versus ace, jack, ace of spades, jack of clubs, ace, king in the lead. 1 card to go. double.
I didn't think you hit, but I thought you had something there.
We'll have a new player coming in, Susan Hauglid of the tag team. Susan and Les Hauglid. That was a mother-son duo. She's going to be sitting in seat 9, 52,000 in chips. Welcome back to the stream, Susan. Some people just have a magnet for the cameras and the live streams, and it seems like Susan is one of them. Laurel was out here yesterday. I think that's it for now. Got a little something brewing here. Cynthia and Dean with middle pair on their 7s. Susan top pair with the queen. Like Cynthia folds. So Susan there on the bottom right in your 9 seat will take in her first pot on our feature table. Laura Smith will pick up a hand with pocket jacks. All right, Vicky Hutchison will be first to act here. Go ahead and fold. We'll fold around to Wendy. Sorry, Laurel. Laurel makes the call. Susan Hauglid in seat 9. Ace Queen suited.
Susan is going to raise to 12,000 or make a raise, and everyone else is going to fold. Wendy will fold. Laurel now, pocket sixes, will make the call. Some folds around there. See if Susan Hoglet picked up anything. She'll call for 4,000 more. Ken will call for 2,000 more, and Vicky has the option. And your flop comes at 5-9 king. No help to either player. And we'll check around. Eight on the turn. Of course, we are playing blind as what Vicky might have in her hand. We'll see checks all the way around again. Laurel Smith currently in the lead as we know it with those pocket sixes. Queen on the river. Check, check. Check, and we're all going to expose our hands. Mucked. And Laurel Smith is going to win with pocket sixes. Going to go ahead and start the action here. Kendall raised 8,000 after a bunch of calls. Mike Super King Jack. See some calls. Flop comes 5 Jack deuce. It's like Mike made the call. Ken will fold. Well, 3-1 anyways in it, so it's fine.
Gonna go ahead and get started here on the action again. Laurel and John will fold. Same with Dean. Cynthia calls for 4,000. Susan will fold. What do you know? Vicky Hutchison in another pot will make the call. And Wendy Adamczyk will check her option after a call from Mike Super. 10-8-5. See a check there. Cynthia checks, and let's see. Cynthia does pair the 8. See, folds around to Cynthia. And she will fold as well, so Vicky Hutchison on a roll, it seems. She's at least in a lot of hands. Whether or not they're going her way, but certainly a very active player on the felt, and that's one way that you're going to find yourself on the final table is by just not being afraid to put chips in the center and risk it all for that top prize. That top prize is $12,500 main event prize packages. So we'll fold over to Dean. He's going to make the call. Fold from Vicky. Vicky will fold. Mike Super, King 9 offsuit, 4K to call on the button. Wendy's gonna fold the small blind. And Laurel makes the check. 10 deuce 9 on the flop. Laurel checks. Dean will bet. Now action over to Mike Super, who has paired his 9. Dean Nelson with the open ender. Laurel Smith with the gut shot, and it's just not worth it this stage of the game. Blinds are still at a manageable level compared to the chip stacks that are out there. Speaking of player position, which I was not talking about, but there's their chip stacks. Laurel Smith, 126,000 in chips. Vicky and Mike, yeah, so Vicky does have a sizable stack, over 100K. Ken Giroux, Cynthia Morales going to start needing to start making some moves. Going to be low on chips, so it's going to be time to start making some moves and doing the things you need to do to win our main event. And looks like Dean will raise to 16,000. Cynthia, ace 10 suited. This might be that time to go all in. I don't know if it's quite. It's kind of a big push. Could see a call here, 16K to call, and she does make it. Susan folds. Ken folds. Vicky folds. Nope, Vicky will most likely fold. Apologies, getting ahead of myself there. We're gonna fold around John Rotman. Pocket fours. If there's ever a time to catch a set, now would be the time. Flop comes at 6, king, 5. Pocket four is definitely a little bit of a scary hand to have, or basically you got the lowest pair. Got to expect that king is definitely in someone else's range. Dan Nelson will bet 16,000. Cynthia would be all in to call. It's not even a diamond draw. It's kind of a simple laydown there. It's unfortunate that eventually you can't just, if you're going to call into a hand and you're getting a little short stacked and you don't catch anything, it might just be time to shove all in and see what happens, make some magic. Cynthia will fold. Susan has folded. On to Vicky with Jack Queen suited.
Yes. Probably.
Looks like she's gonna make the call for 6,000. 10 folds. Wendy looking down at suited connectors, not good enough though. Laura will make the call. Unfolds and can do sips on the flop. Vicky will fold.
Exactly what I put you on.
Action is on Vicky here with King 10 offsuit after a Susan Howglid call. Vicky will make the call. Mike and Wendy fold. Laurel folds, and it's time for John Rotman to go all in.
I got a brown hand next hand.
13,000 to call. Vicky looking to knock someone out. This is a mystery bounty tournament with a 10,000. Gets $10,000 in mystery bounties. So 10s versus King 10. John Rotman's tournament life at stake. 7 deuce 8 on the flop. Five on the turn. And a 9 on the river, and John Rotman is going to survive here in our main event with pocket 10s. Congratulations to John there for winning a hand off of one of the larger chip stacks on our feature table.
No call. No call.
Watching live coverage here from the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas, Nevada, the Step in the Ring main event. My name is Brian of the Free Poker Network. Thank you all for tuning in. Facebook and YouTube. If you are watching on, I guess, either platform, make sure to like and subscribe on that YouTube channel. Our goal is to get to 1,000. Ken Jaros is going to raise for quite a bit, 18,000. Dean Nelson, pocket kings. Cynthia Morales would be all in to call. Cynthia did fold. Oh no, Cynthia is all in for 4,000. My apologies. We're over to Ken Jaros with those pocket fives. And Ken's gonna make the call. He's all in to call. We have a two-way all in and a call by means of Dean Nelson with pocket fours. Dean Nelson, or pocket kings, sorry. Ken Jaros' tournament life at stake with pocket fives.
No more action, all hands can come up.
Cynthia Morales is nearly ready to go. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. Flop comes 4, Jack, 5. Ken Jaros hits trips on the flop. It is a queen 4 for Cynthia Morales. Deuce on the turn. And an 8 on the river. Ken Jaros is going to get the check mark. And is going to knock out Cynthia Morales in the process. So thank you for for coming out and participating in our main event and all week long. To Cynthia, we certainly appreciate it. We wish you some run good in the future. And that is at least a double up for Ken Jaros through Dean Nelson, and then an extra 4K to boot for Cynthia Morales, who was in the small blind. Like we're going to have a new dealer coming in to the table here, so just go over quickly with the rules and looks like Vicky might be first to act. Dean will call. We also have Laurel or Susan in there as well. Flop comes deuce, ace, deuce. Vicky was first act, but we went check, check. Susan bets. And she'll scoop in that pot. Wendy will be first to act. And we'll fold around. Dean folds. And we have folded over to Ken. See checks from Vicky and Mike. Flop is a jack. So there is 4 to a straight out there. Looks like Mike will bet. Vicky and Mike chatting away. Vicky maybe trying to get a read on him. And Vicky makes the call. Wow. Mike Soper is going to pick up a nice sized pot there with the queen high straight. Didn't quite see what Vicky had, but I think she had like jack 8, pair of jacks or something. See some folds around to Dean. Ace deuce for Susan. Ken will fold. Vicky will throw that away. It's his head, isn't it? No. Mike will call for 3,000. Wendy will check her option. Ace, deuce, jack on the flop. Mike catches the jack, but Wendy, watch out. Well, Wendy has the Broadway draw, and Susan Hauglid with 2 pair. This is what they might call a wet board. Mike will fold. Wendy's going to stay in the hand with not just the Broadway draw, but oh my, someone yelled on the other table and scared the living bejeebas out of Wendy. So Susan bets 20,000. 3 on the turn. Wendy's going to make the call. A 4 of spades on the river is going to give Wendy a dom check, the check mark. And she's moved all in. Question is, what will Susan do? This would leave Susan with just 1,000 in chips left. But I don't know if that looks exactly right. Looks like Susan might have about 55,000 in her chip stack, maybe 60. So she's going to fold, and Wendy, big sigh of relief there. She's going to take home that pot. Just a reminder, we probably will be taking a break for a few hours coming up pretty shortly. And then we will fire up the live stream again after dinner break and go till the end. Action on Vicky Hutchison. She'll fold. And now Mr. Soper. So Michael raised to 18,000. Action now on Laurel Smith, who will fold. Mike Soper will go ahead and fold. Here's a nice little background of what's going on here. We got the rail out here on the casino floor at the Golden Nugget. Grand Ballroom is going to be behind those slot machines. And yeah, we're very excited to be out in this area. Can also kind of pan over and see we do have a couple more tables out there, and the rest of the field is going to be back in the Grand Ballroom. Let's see if this guy's winning at slots over here. Test our Zoom capabilities. Don't think he is. It's a real bummer. We will have a new player on seat 8. Folded around to Vicky, seat 2. Mike will fold. We are over to Laurel Smith and John Rotman. Laurel will call for 3,000. Flop comes 5, Queen 5. Wendy pairs her queens. She's gonna bet, I think, 20,000. John's gonna fold. Hey, there's a familiar face there. Mr. Al. Longtime friend of the league. And he just went behind the pillar. Tried to give him. Said he wanted to be on stream. So here he is on stream. And he is a fast walker, I tell you what. Newcomer to the table is Harry Landvik. He's got 126,000 in his chip stack. Susan Hauglid, pocket nines. She's gonna go ahead and raise to 24,000. Looks like. Fold around to the table, and Susan Hauglid is going to scoop in that pot. And I don't think we've taken a break in a while, so there has to be one coming up. Blinds have recently gone up. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. Okay, blinds are up to 4,000, 8,000 with an 8,000 big blind ante.
We're doing 366 this hand. 366 this hand. We're going up next hand with our shuffle.
They said they were spinning cocktails. Oh.
9 folds. C1 folds.
We travel?
C2 folds. C3 folds.
Gonna fold all around there to John, and then over to Dean. Dean's gonna go ahead and Harry Landvik waking up with pocket aces. Gonna raise to 26,000, and Dean is going to just fold. Of course. You'd love to have some action on your pocket aces. But sometimes it just doesn't happen. Fold around the table there. Over to Dean Nelson, picking up another pocket pair, pocket fives. Harry's going to fold.
That's a plan, boss.
Brother, you count your chips up. I need an accurate count. Thank you.
Action is on Susan Hauglid now. Another pocket pair, pocket sevens. Looks like she's going to make the call for 8,000 more. Three in the window, queen, queen, three. Susan Hauglid first to act and leader on the hand thus far. Susan will check. I would put money that our dealer definitely shaved his head this morning. That thing is looking smooth. Oh, wow, Dean might be going all in here. Doesn't think Susan has a queen. Odds of that are done, and he is all in. So action is now on Susan. She's gonna sit in the think tank a little bit here. She does decide to call. We're going to see, or we know that it's a pretty good decision. Bet you if she could see the cards, she would make the call.
It's gonna be my blind. Oh, I see. Oh, no, I knew.
And Susan folds. So, I mean, a good aggressive play by Dean. That's what it takes to win here in our main event. I think we're just going to get a couple quick chip counts on some players to confirm.
Don't worry, ain't nobody watching. There's no commenting.
Probably not, I'm sure.
You hear them now, just like my wife. Heads up. We're commenting about her.
Flop is 4 of clubs, 5 of hearts, ace of spades. See, one bet's 20,000, 2-0 go. Oh, so we get 3. 60. See, 8 raises, 60,000.
Harry Landvik flops 2-pair. Ken Jaros, ace high, and the gut shot straight draw. So Ken's going to need some help. He's going to need a 3 or a 5. Six on the turn. Ken Jaros has 8 outs. Otherwise, Harry Landvik's 2-pair. Is that a counterfeit? That's a chop pot. Oh my gosh, Ken Jaros pulls out a miracle. Harry Landvik gets counterfeited on the river with a higher 2-pair. This is a time that Harry wishes that 3-pair is a legit hand in poker. So he would have then knocked Ken out, but Ken Jaros, new life breathed into him by means of a chop pot. On a very coordinated board with those aces, ace deuce. Wow. Do want to give a shout out to some of our bounty winners. Our main event does have $10,000 in mystery bounties. We had the 1K, $1,000 went out to Matt Russo, playing out of Big Apple in Nebraska. The top prize, by the way, is $1,500 in our bounties. That is the biggest one. Jacob Jobman, playing out of the Drinkaway Lounge, pulled the $500. Let me see real quick where the Drinkaway Lounge is from. That's not. Drinkaway Lounge is in Omaha, Nebraska. And then we had Matt pull a $1,000 winner on the bounties. Want to give a little update about the other players in the field with some rough chip counts. Of course, well, I didn't see this message until about 40 minutes later. But Skylar Sand is out there in the field. He seems to be out here often at these national championships. Love to have him here playing out of the Can-Do Bar, I believe in North Dakota. 360,000 was the last update. Jennifer Bezig playing out of Billy's Bar in Route 47, 250,000. Paul Haman was your tag team champion last night. It was a chip stack of 187,000, playing out of Illinois. Jeff Gabb playing out of Champs and Dickinson, last seen with about 180K. And Keith Wall, who took 9th place in our tag team tournament last night, last was about 210,000. Also a Shane Fromm from Nebraska. Last reported 27 minutes ago, just under 400K in chips. I'm going to go take a look outside at the tournament clock to see how many players we may have remaining. What was once 324 players, we are down to 64 players remaining. We are playing down to 3 players. That is our top prize, $12,500 to a main event seat prize package. Every person that's knocked out receive a bounty chip. Turn that bounty chip in for a bounty. $1,500 winner is still out there. That's what these players are playing for. Huge main event prize package. Players traveled from all over the country, from Delaware and Florida to Texas and Colorado, all the way from Las Vegas. Hope the traffic wasn't too bad for you, but they came from all over to starting on Tuesday for our first qualifier, all the way through to today with our main event for the Step in the Ring National Championship.
My champ.
Apologies here. Just trying to do some research, get some things going, but we will be taking a break here. Not too long. Wendy Domchick, 146,000. Maybe it might be time for a little bit of a chip count check. See where we're at. There we go, Harry Landvik up there at the top, 162,000. John Rotman, Susan Hauglett, Ken Jaros, Vicky Hutchison. Starting to get into that danger zone. John Rotman certainly is in that danger zone of it's time to go all in or nothing with blinds at 488. It costs 20,000 in chips to finance one orbit around the table. Harry Landvik will call. Mike will fold. Wendy folds. Flop comes king, ace, 4. Laurel Smith pairs her king. John pairs his 4. John's going to fold after a bet from Laurel. Harry might be sticking around. He's got the chips to do it, I guess. And a jack on the turn, it does not pay off. Just going to get himself in more trouble. But it never matters what you have in your hand. It's if Harry can make Laurel believe that he, in fact, has the ace, or even worse, maybe even queen 10, and Harry does just that. Makes a huge bet, and Laurel Smith is going to fold the best hand. So our next break is just under 8 minutes. And just to give a little perspective on what our chip counts were, the average chip stack is going to be 130,000 in chips. So if you are under that, you are falling behind. Have not gotten word, or I don't know if Joel Smith is still out there, our 2-time national championship or champion. Harry Landvik calls for 8,000. Vicky Hutchison, suited connectors 9-8. Going to make the call as well. Michael fold. Wendy looks like she made a call. Laura will fold. John folds. John will check, or Dean will check his option. We got a 44K pot brewing. 4 players to a flop. 8 in the window. King 7. Wendy will pair her kings. Vicky pairs the 8. Dean Nelson flops an open ender. And I think Dean's going to lead it out for 16,000. I think you're going to need just a little bit more equity in this hand for Vicky to call, especially with 2 other players in and 1 left to act. Take your time, though. No faults in just making sure you're making the right call, especially at this level. In this stage in the game, players have been playing since 10 a.m. And what time is it now? 5 o'clock. They've been going on for 7 hours, nearly a full work day. And it's probably going to be around this time that a lot of players' mental fortitude starts dropping off a little bit, just tapers off. It's like wearing your opponent down in the ring with little jabs here and there, little body shots, and all those little things add up and start making a difference in the play. Vicky makes the call, Wendy makes the call, so we are 3 ways to a turn. Oh, dang. Okay. Wendy raises to 45,000. My apologies. Dean Nelson now. Big decision to make. And his face says it all. There's a grimace and there's hands in the face. That's a lot of emotion for a poker player. I think Dean knows he's going up against a pair of kings. And he is going to fold the open ender. Not a bad play. Vicky now, 9-8, is going to fold as well. Could have saved herself some chips. And that right there is what I'm talking about. Just that little bit of, I guess, just knowing the situation and, you know, just with the pair of 8s, that maybe you're trying to hold on and see some kind of a cheap flop or a cheap turn rather. But with Wendy Adamczyk on your left, she's been a player who's not been afraid to put her chips in the pot. So that could have been one of those things that over time where a small thing or turns into a big mistake. Wendy Adamczyk takes advantage. Scoops in a nice sized pot there. Susan Hauglid will fold. Just a few minutes left here until we go on break. Thank you for tuning in on Facebook and YouTube. We'll be back after the break, probably around 6 o'clock or so it'll be an hour break. Then we'll be back to finish off with the conclusion here of the main event. Golden Nugget, Las Vegas, for the FPN Step in the Ring National Championship. Laurel and Wendy pair their aces. Laurel with the better kicker. Wendy, though, with the gut shot. Does have the draw out there. She hits a 4. Wendy's going to bet after a hairy check. Oral Smith will fold. So Wendy, being the aggressor, gets everyone to fold, and she doesn't even have the best hand. That is our next promotion there, Desert Dash for Cash. Be looking forward to that one. Current promotion, actually, players playing in the league perhaps this week are competing, and their points are going towards qualifying for that national championship. Just 1 or 2 hands left, and we will be on break, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in once again. You may be looking at one of the 3 players who will be taking home that $12,500 main event poker prize package. Still over 60 players left. Harry Landvik, Ace King. Don't think he put enough chips out there to raise, so he raises to 16,000. He might have had to pull back his chips and just call, or was that for sure a raise? Either way, doesn't matter. Harry's gonna scoop in that pot. Harry will be on the button now. And it looks like we are going on break. Players are leaving for dinner. Thank you all for tuning in. We will be back live in Las Vegas after the dinner break. My name's Brian. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you for the conclusion coming up later this evening.